everyone, and welcome to Tech Talk Friday, the show where we explore the fascinating world of education, career, and technology and bring you insights and stories from experts across various industries. I'm your host Princey, and today in this special episode, we have Shubham Purandare sir, the founder and CEO of Studium Tech, the EdTech company focused on helping educational institutions to achieve and maintain accreditation. As you engineer yourself, and as we know, engineers can do so many things along with engineering. So, can you please share us your journey about engineering and your goals at that time about career?
Okay, so first of all, thanks for having me on the podcast. And it feels great that it's a student's initiative, and it's a for student and by student initiative. So, thanks for that. I'm an engineer from VIIT Pune, and I did my computer engineering, graduated in 2018. And in our college, there was a culture of lot of hustling, lot of hackathons, lot of exciting stuff. I don't come necessarily from a startup background or a business family. So doing a startup was not definitely the first thing. But this was my final year engineering project, and when I was in my computer engineering, I was trying to do something around what is this knack and how can we automate things in education and quality assurance. एंड फिर ऐसा लगने लगा कि इसमें कुछ है एंड कुछ ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जो बहुत इंटरेस्ट कर रही है. एंड तब ये गोल बिल्कुल भी नहीं था कि कुछ एक स्टार्टअप बनाना है. गोल बस इतना था कि इफ यू आर डूइंग समथिंग लेट अस ट्राई. And lot of my faculties, lot of my friends supported in that. So when the final year placements were going on, that time I was already placed at Barclays, but in the same hiring round, we also hired a couple of interns. We took a big internship drive where we started this activity. So engineering was definitely very interesting, and my engineering days were also into a lot of theatre activities. There are a lot of theatre activities active in Pune. I was an active part of that. So all of this was a nurturing mechanism around how things are going. So I hope I answered your question.
Okay. So, sir, as you have took the job at the first place after instantly after engineering. So how did you jump from that job and to this startup?
So as I told you, in 2018 I started working with Barclays, and Barclays is a great multinational brand.
Yes.
And I always wanted to do a startup. I was aiming for doing something like this, but as I did not have a very nice background around it, it was a difficult challenge. So I took a very conscious call that let's not, out of passion, just jump into a startup. Let us learn, let us see, how startups are built. So 2 years I was working with Barclays, and Barclays was an experience where I learned a lot of things. I learned how a process-driven organization works. Why is Barclays at such a great level today that it has a great process around it. So all these years were very fundamental, very foundational. And parallelly, I was also having a couple of employees who are working, at the back end, developing certain things, experimenting. So I used to work 8 hours at Barclays, and I used to work another 5-6 hours on this. So it was a hectic activity of 15-16 hours of work every day. But it was fun. It never looked like it's a burden, because that was the era where we are full of passion, full of energy. And then a time came when I thought it's the right time to go. And in 2020 फिर मैंने सोचा कि चलो अभी quit करते हैं, because if I definitely knew one thing, that if I don't quit right now, I won't be able to quit anytime. And that was a time when it was a severe pandemic. So I quit my job in the first wave of pandemic, where I did not know that मेरे आगे क्या रखा है. And then slowly things started working out.
Okay. So as you are in the accreditation space, so how is accreditation important for educational institutions?
Okay, well, this is a very long answer. I can do a separate podcast on this, but I'll try to be very crisp here. So think of it like, every student, a student is coming in a college to learn something. And there are exams being taken to make sure that a student is learning that particular part.
Yes.
And in a similar way, an institution is existing in India for delivering education. Now there has to be an exam and certain bodies who are checking that is the education institute delivering what it wants to deliver. So in a very simpler words, accreditations is very similar to the exams of a student. So they are exams of colleges. And why they're so important? Because education happens to be at a very crucial part of our Indian economy. Not only for our country, for every country, it's a very crucial economy, crucial part of the economy. Now, how will we make sure that the graduates that are graduating from our country are having the necessary skills, are having the necessary pillars, thought process, culture, talent, and attitude?
Yes.
If they don't have this, all these aspects with themselves, once they graduate, they won't be able to do the right thing. And who is responsible for inculcating such things in the student's mind? Their colleges, their institutions, right? So it is not only about the academics and the education. It is about the personality building. So there is a lot of wave going around online education right now. And people are saying that why do I need to attend a college when I can learn this online? I can do this course directly. So college cannot be compared with an online education course, because here you learn 90% of things from your peers.
Yes.
So when you, for example, if I ask you that, after 5 years of graduation, if you look back to these days, what would you remember? Would you remember the classes that you attended, or would you remember the experience that you had around?
Overall
Right? So the experience is what teaches you, inculcates into you. So these are the fundamental pillars into your life. And hence colleges are playing an extremely important role in developing a candidate.
Yes.
Right? Hence, there has to be somebody who is accredited, taking an exam of this. Hence, accreditations are extremely important.
Yes.
There are multiple accreditations like NAC, NBA, there are some ranking frameworks. But a core philosophy is to make sure that a college is delivering what it is supposed to deliver.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it checks on the quality of the education.
Correct.
Or the goals are met or not.
Correct. Self-setted goals.
Yes.
Yeah. So now goals are of two types. So one goal is that, I am telling you that, you have to get a 50 lakhs package. That is a goal that I set for you.
Yes.
You have set a very different goal for yourself.
Yes.
And it is very important to achieve the goal set by yourself,
Yes.
not by me.
Yes.
Right? So that is a core intent, that the institutions have to set their own goals, have to set what they want to do in the next 5 years. And then the accrediting bodies are coming and asking that, okay, you said that you want to go from A to B. Now tell us if you went from A to B. As simple as that.
Yes. So you check up on them.
Yeah, I don't check, the bodies check. Now I'm playing a very interesting role where we identified a gap in the market where, accreditations, quality assurance is somehow treated with a second priority. It is very important. Everybody understands the importance,
Yes.
but faculties are, hell loaded with a lot of teaching load, research load. There is nobody who is, taking a responsibility of quality assurance.
Yes.
Hence we thought that, can we do it a process oriented thing? So आपको याद होगा कि आपके टीचर्स ने आपको बताया होगा कि अगर आप दिन में एवरी डे इफ यू स्टडी फॉर 10 minutes, देन एग्जाम के एक दिन पहले आपको लोड नहीं आएगा, स्ट्रेस नहीं आएगा.
Obviously.
दैट्स अ राइट वे ऑफ डूइंग इट. बट व्हाट वी ऑल डू इज वी डोंट स्टडी,
Last minute.
we only do last minute study. Colleges also kind of do the same thing. So the accrediting bodies are telling them to do some quality checks every day, so that at the end of the year you won't be burdened. बट होता यह है कि कोई वो करता नहीं है. एंड देन जो स्टूडेंट की मेंटालिटी टुवर्ड्स एग्जाम्स है, वही मेंटालिटी कॉलेजेस की टुवर्ड्स एक्रेडिटेशंस है. ओके, एंड अगेन टू सम ड्रॉ पैरेलल एग्जांपल्स, इफ यू स्टडी टू लर्न समथिंग, यू लर्न इट बेटर. राइट? अगर आपको मैं कुछ पढ़ा रहा हूँ तो अगर आप यही सोचोगे कि अच्छा इसमें से मुझे एग्जाम में क्या पूछा जाएगा, अगर उतना ही आप पढ़ोगे तो आपको शायद उतना समझ में नहीं आएगा.
Yes.
पर अगर आप ये सोचोगे कि हाँ यार ये मुझे बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लग रहा है और ये मैं ना किसी और जगह पे अप्लाई कर सकती हूँ, तो ये आपके लिए बहुत बेहतर रहेगा इन टर्म्स ऑफ योर डेवलपमेंट. इन अ सिमिलर वे, इफ द इंस्टीट्यूशंस ओनली लुक एट एक्रेडिटेशंस कि हाँ मुझे चाहिए क्योंकि मुझे ए ग्रेड चाहिए, तो बहुत कम इम्प्लीमेंट कर पाएंगे. इससे अच्छा अगर वो ये सोचेंगे कि अच्छा ये मुझे करना है क्योंकि मुझे मेरा इंस्टीट्यूशन की क्वालिटी बढ़ानी, मुझे प्रोसेस बिठाना. राइट? दिस इज अ मेंटालिटी शिफ्ट दैट वी आर we are trying to propagate in institutions' minds and helping them to set a process around this. Yeah, so that's my core work and that's the importance of accreditations.
Sir, so as you work around accreditation, so can you please tell us about the process of accreditation in short?
Okay, so it's a very interesting process. So I've been studying accreditations for last 6 years now. I've studied right from the local accreditations like NAC, NBA, right up to international accreditations like EQUIS, AMBA, AACSB, QS rankings, Financial Times rankings. And I'm trying to understand that why in the first place do they exist? What will happen? अगर कल उठ के नायक बोलेगा कि कोई जरूरत नहीं हमारी, आप कर लो जो चाहिए कर लो, राइट? या फिर कोई नहीं बोलेगा कि आपको हम रैंक नहीं करेंगे, आप बेहतर हो, ठीक है? तो क्या होगा? तो ये होगा कि किसी को एक स्टैंडर्ड प्रोसेस नहीं मिलेगी. अगर मैं एक स्टूडेंट हूँ और मुझे चाहिए कि मैं कंप्यूटर इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में जाऊँ, तो मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा कि कौन सा कॉलेज अच्छा है, कौन सा कॉलेज नहीं, राइट? तो ये तो हमें समझता है एक्रेडिटेशन के रेटिंग्स, रैंक्स, इस सब के ऊपर. बट मोर देन दैट, आप मुझे बताइए हम कैसे बोलेंगे कि कोई एक्स कॉलेज है, उसका इज अ गुड कॉलेज और अ बैड कॉलेज? इट इज वेरी सब्जेक्टिव, राइट? वेरी सब्जेक्टिव. अगर आप ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते कि इस कॉलेज के 80% प्लेसमेंट है, इस कॉलेज के 60% है, तो 80% वाला जो कॉलेज वो बेहतर है, आप ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते, राइट? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, कोई दो स्टूडेंट्स है जो सेम पढ़ रहे हैं, सब कुछ सेम कर रहे हैं, सेम एग्जाम दे रहे हैं, एक को 100% 90% मार्क्स मिल रहे, एक को 60%, तो आप शायद कह सकते हो कि 90% वाला बंदा ज्यादा होशियार है, राइट? बट आपको उसके बस मार्क्स के बारे में पता है. शायद वो किसी और जगह पे बेहतर ना हो, शायद वो किसी और जगह पे उसको कोई और टैलेंट हो. तो अगर हमें, आई कैन ओनली मेक अ स्टेटमेंट दैट ही इज गुड इन एकेडमिक्स देन दिस कॉलेज. आई कैन नॉट से दैट ही इज अ बेटर पर्सन देन हिम, right? Because I'm not judging all the parameters of it.
Overall, we cannot say anything.
Right? And humans and students are much more than marks.
Yes.
Right? उनके बहुत कुछ चीजें जो देखना बाकी है. Institutions का भी same है. Institutions का output दिखता है placements या entrepreneurship, but they are producing the next generation of the country.
Yes.
Right? So they should be looked upon with a lot of depth. They should be looked upon कि why does this institution exist? So I'll give a parallel example. Let us consider IIT Bombay as probably the best institution for engineering, IIT Bombay, and any tier 3 city engineering college. Let's call it X.
Yes.
Right? This X college is producing only 50 to 60% of placements, and IIT Bombay is producing 100% placements. Can you say that IIT Bombay is great? Now you can say because it's at a great level, but the college X is catering to the audience where there are a lot of unprivileged students, right? अगर वो आज आपके कॉलेज में नहीं आएंगे तो शायद वो कुछ और बहुत खराब काम करेंगे.
Yes.
They might not, at all learn anything. तो उस कॉलेज का विजन ये नहीं है कि उनको बस प्लेसमेंट दिलाना. उनका विजन ये है कि उनका जो सर्कल चल रहा है towards doing wrong things in life, towards a bad company, getting them out of it.
Yes.
Putting them in a very sophisticated and decent pathway of life.
Yes.
Right? ये उस कॉलेज का काम है. तो आप बस ये नहीं बोल सकते कि यहाँ पे इतना हो रहा है, यहाँ पे उतना है, इसलिए ये खराब कॉलेज है. आपको उस कॉलेज को जाके देखना पड़ता है कि उस कॉलेज का एम क्या है, विजन क्या है, क्यों कर रहा है ये, right? This is the core intent of accreditations. Yes, and the process is very, very, very simple. The process is like, you check on their alumni, you check on their academics, you check on their placements, and you try to make sense of everything. And the most interesting thing that I find in accreditations is that they are not comparing you with somebody else. They are comparing you versus the last 3 years version of yourself. Right? So if I am going to the institution today, I am asking them कि आप मुझे बताइए आप 3 साल पहले कैसे थे और आप आज कैसे हो. अगर आप मुझे बता पाए कि आप ग्रो कर रहे हो तो आप जीत गए. अगर आप ग्रो नहीं कर रहे हो तो आप हार गए. तो हर एक इंस्टीट्यूशन को खुद को ग्रो करना है. अगर वो ग्रो करेंगे तब स्टूडेंट्स ग्रो करेंगे और तब हमारी देश तरक्की करे. दिस इज अ लार्जर पिक्चर बिहाइंड ऑल ऑफ दिस थिंग्स. Yes.
Grow on your scale.
Exactly. Grow on your scale. हर एक को उठ के IIT बॉम्बे नहीं बनना है.
There is not a standard scale, but grow on your scale.
Grow करने के लिए पहले क्या होना जरूरी है? पहले ये पता होना जरूरी है कि आज हम कहाँ पे हैं. So there is a very nice saying that what cannot be measured cannot be improved. Yeah. If you want to improve anything, you first need to measure it.
Yes.
Right? तभी आप improve कर पाओगे. तो accreditation bodies are expecting colleges to first measure it. And then take small steps towards improvement. And वो काम हम करते हैं. हम उनको measure करने का काम करते हैं. हम उनको process बिठाने का काम करते हैं. And then we are giving them, a lot of help towards improving it. So that's how the accreditation process is. I don't want to get into a lot of technicalities today, but I want our student audience especially to understand that why accreditations are important and why is it so complicated.
Sir, can you explain us different types of accreditations?
Sure. So there are two types. One is or the very fundamental part is there are two governing bodies. One is UGC, University Grants Commission. One is AICTE, All India Council of Technical Education.
Okay.
All engineering colleges, management colleges fall under AICTE, and all the arts and commerce colleges, private universities, other courses, degree courses come under UGC. Okay. AICTE is a technical course, engineering, management, hotel management, polytechnic, all these. And these are non-technical courses. Okay. Now, the police behind AICTE is NBA, National Board of Accreditation. The police behind UGC is NAC.
Okay.
Okay. So NAC is accrediting the institutions who are UGC affiliated. And NBA is accrediting institutions who are AICTE affiliated. Okay. Hence, there are two types of accreditations, NAC and NBA. There is a ranking framework called as NIRF, who is telling you top 100 colleges in India, top 100 engineering colleges in India, all such rankings. Then there is QS ranking at an international level. Then specific for management colleges, there is ASCSB, which is an international accreditations for B schools, and so on and so forth.
Okay. So now, can you please share us about your startup?
Sure.
Start with your mission and impact of Studium Tech.
Okay. So this is an existential crisis. Existential question for me. So I'll tell you a larger picture first, because an entrepreneur always has to think 10 years down the line.
Yes.
And the most essential and most difficult skill I'll tell you is thinking when you're in the problem, when you're in a very very non-clear situation, still staying strong and thinking 10 years down the line. अगर आप 10 साल का गेम खेलोगे ना तो आप कुछ बना पाओगे. So, अगर आप बस 1-2 साल का जो स्टार्टअप्स में चल रहा है ना कि बहुत फंडिंग उठाओ और 3-4 साल में सेल ऑफ कर दो, वो स्ट्रैटेजी आई डोंट थिंक इज अ वेरी राइट स्ट्रैटेजी, स्पेशली फॉर एजुकेशन कंपनीज, बिकॉज एजुकेशन इज अ वेरी डिफरेंट मार्केट दैन any other D2C brands, very different market. So the larger impact over here is when I was in my engineering, a lot of people are going for their master's degree in the United States. Everybody, सबका वही सपना था कि इंजीनियरिंग करो यहाँ से, MS करो टेक्सास से, डालस से, एंड फिर वहीं पे 5 साल के सेट हो जाओ, फिर शादी करो, फिर आगे बढ़ो लाइफ में. तो एंड एवरीबडी whenever I was asking them कि यार क्यों जा रहे हो बाहर, क्यों, they're saying इंडिया में क्या रखा है, इंडिया में क्या होगा, यूएस में देखो कितना ही है, यूएस में देखो वो है. सो आई एग्री कि यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स हैज लॉट ऑफ अदर अपॉर्चुनिटीज, बट इंडिया में क्या रखा है was something that was hurting me a lot. And I was thinking, यार सच में ऐसा है क्या कि कुछ नहीं रखा है. Then I started researching on it. Then I realized कि हाँ, they have a point. कि the type of education you get outside is very, very different than the type of education you're getting here. There are a lot of aspects to it. There are aspects like, there are alumni networks, the exposure, a lot of things are different. Then I started thinking कि यार अगर ये पूरी जनरेशन अगर यही सोचेगी, आगे वाली जनरेशन भी यही सोचेगी, तो probably 10 साल में इंडिया में कोई बचेगा ही नहीं.
Yes.
सब बाहर चले जाएंगे.
Yes.
Right? And on the other hand, we are seeing that great talent are being CEOs of all multinational companies in the West. Right? तो इससे इस दो अगर आप डेटा पॉइंट को स्टडी करोगे तो आपको क्या समझेगा कि इंडियंस में टैलेंट तो है, बहुत जुगाड़ू लोग हैं, बहुत बहुत कुछ करना चाहते हैं, बट वो बाहर जा रहे हैं और बाहर के लोगों के लिए कुछ कर रहे हैं. राइट? तो व्हाट इज अ वे टू मेक श्योर दैट our generation stays back in India, to provide better education here, giving competitive education here as compared to the West. और वो चेक कौन करेगा? कोई तो होगा जो बोलेगा नहीं यार अभी हम सेम हैं. वो है accreditation bodies. तो बोलती है, उनके हाथ में पावर है टू चेक कि नहीं आप अच्छा काम करो. हमारे देश का क्वालिटी एश्योरेंस सुधारना इज द ओनली वे टुवर्ड्स रिटेनिंग द टैलेंट इन इंडिया.
Yes.
Right? If this is a problem, so what is the problem? Problem is that India is facing challenges in maintaining their quality assurance.
Yes.
That was a field of interest. Okay, let's do something in this. Let's use technology in this. Then I started studying accreditation. So now what the startup does? Now what Studium is about? Studium is not an EdTech company. People often confuse us with Byju's and Unacademy and other things. We are a pure play SaaS platform. We are an AI-driven data analytics company
Okay.
who is analyzing the data of an institution, we have built tremendous layers of getting their alumni data, getting their academics, getting their placements with the consent of the college, using them, making a growth story for them, automatically generating all the reports for several accreditations, setting a process in an institution, delivering that process, and then we are also giving them analytics like the top 100 colleges in India are doing like this, and where are you? The comparative analysis between you and the top 100 colleges. When we work with colleges like NMIMS, who is our one of the biggest customers, IIMs, that time they are competing themselves with probably Harvard and MITs of the world. उनकी कहानी बता रहे हैं कि MIT कैसे काम कर रहे हैं, आप कैसे कर रहे हैं, right? हर एक को we are telling them the growth, the way to improve, way to grow. Right? And we are a team of around 30 engineers, 30 very passionate young individuals. And so I'm 28. So you can, if the founder itself is 28, then you can imagine the other people out there. So very energetic, very enthusiastic team. We are based in Pune. The head office is in Pune. We are also funded by TIE Pune. So TIE stands for the Indus Entrepreneurs. It's a not-for-profit organization.
Okay.
They have a set of angel investors. And I was very, very lucky to have mentors like Mr. Ashish Goyal. So Mr. Ashish Goyal runs a big fintech company in the country by the name of Early Salary, now known as FI. So you can also find it out. So this person was a very pivotal person in helping me understand that how startups are built. Then there is a lead investor with us called as Mr. Shashank Deshpande. He's a serial entrepreneur, serial investor, and he has helped me throughout my journey. All these things. And we have similar 25 other investors who have invested in Studium. And now we are a brand who is, at a pivot stage of growing. And we are currently working with around 57 institutions across the country. We are located in Pune, Bangalore, Delhi, and Mumbai. And I enjoy this journey because I get to talk to the policymakers of the institution. I talk to the vice chancellors, I talk to the chancellors, telling them that, hey, this is how your data looks like. I don't want to judge you, but this is what data has a story.
Yes.
Data is not just data, it's not information, it is a story. If you start seeing the data across years, you'll find some good things, some bad things, some strengths. So my job is to be an external person working very closely with the institution, analyzing their data, showing them that, okay, this is where you lag. Let's work here. Because the top 100 NIRF colleges are doing this, let's do that. I help institutions to set their quality graph, quality process. So that's in a nutshell, and it's a 10-year vision that I want to help as many colleges as possible to build an ecosystem.
Okay.
Right now, colleges are working like an island. Every college is great, every college is best. How can we all come together? Because all of us are doing the same thing. We are developing the next generation of India, right? So if the goal is same, if the mission is same, then why to work independently? Let's work collaboratively, right? So, because if you see on the larger picture of an Indian perspective, it hardly matters that if MIT produced best engineers or VIT or Nutan College. All matters if India produced great engineers. And those engineers stayed back in India, built great companies for India, boosted the economy of India. Right? So we all are one. And if we all have a similar vision, similar goal, then there should be a lot of collaboration. And we want to be the catalyst behind this revolution in India. We are driving this revolution currently of striving the ecosystem to grow. So that's a larger perspective of why I have left my job and I'm doing all this Mari every day.
Okay, sir. Sir, so you provide the third eye view to the colleges about their quality. Sir, as you said about the investment, so as the most famous show, Shark Tank, so does the investment goes as it is shown in the show or the real world is different from that?
So अगर आप फंडामेंटली मुझे पूछोगे तो कॉन्सेप्ट तो वही है. कोई इन्वेस्टर्स है, आपको आपके आइडिया उनको सामने पिच करनी है एंड अगर उनको सही लगेगा तो वो पैसे देंगे. बट क्या हो रहा है ना कि as lot of sharks have quoted on Shark Tank that it's an Indian decade now which has started of entrepreneurship. But unfortunately, like for example, if I tell you, ask you, who is your favorite hero? Who is your favorite hero? कोई भी ले लो, ऋतिक रोशन ले लो, शाहरुख खान ले लो, कोई भी अगर हीरो है, अगर आप उसके बारे में पढ़ के, इफ यू आर सीइंग हिम ऑन द टीवी स्क्रीन एंड ही इज योर आइडल, उनके जैसा बनना है, तो आपको बस उनके अच्छी चीजों के बारे में पता चले, आपको पता है उनके पास बहुत पैसा है, उनके पास बहुत फेम है, तो आप कोरिलेट कर पाओगे कि अच्छा अगर अच्छा एक्टर बन गया ना तो बहुत पैसा मिलता है, बहुत ज्यादा फेम मिलती है और बहुत ज्यादा इज्जत मिलती है, बट वी फेल टू अंडरस्टैंड द हार्ड वर्क बिहाइंड दिस. वी फेल टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट when one Shah Rukh Khan becomes Shah Rukh Khan, there are 100 failed Shah Rukh Khans out there, right? He's only the one. There is a lot that goes behind the scenes. There is a lot that it is needed to build something. I fear that when people are just seeing the likes of Shark Tank, people have started correlating entrepreneurship with glamour, entrepreneurship with a lot of fame. That if he's a founder, then he's filthy rich and he has a Mercedes, he has this, he has that. This is not why entrepreneurs start entrepreneurship. They have a kida of creation. Creation drives them.
Okay.
Creation drives them, creativity drives them, change drives them. Not only money. Money is a byproduct. Hence, if all the fellow entrepreneurs who would be listening to this, I have always followed one simple thing, that if you focus too much on the end output, then you ought to fail. You need to enjoy the process.
Yes.
So the Shark Tank thesis is predominantly the same, but a lot goes at the background, a lot goes at the back end, which all entrepreneurs need to learn who are going to follow the Shark Tank shows and doing that. In our case, it was pretty much the same. So we also pitched to certain investors. And one thing that I've learned, so it's an interesting thing to share at such platforms, is that when we raised our first round of investment, I had made all the Excel sheets, I have made all Excel calculations, all fancy, right? I have pitched to several investors and I failed. I couldn't succeed. There was a time when I had only probably 2 months cash in my bank, and if I won't get investment in the next 2 months, we are screwed up. That was the scenario. That time, the person who drive the entire investment round, my entire investment happened out of Excel sheets. It was just because why I am doing this. What will happen if tomorrow this does not succeed? Do I have the right environment? Do I have the right temperament? Do I have the right attitude? Am I a problem solver? Or I was at an age where people were doing a lot of master's degrees. So they were trying to ask me that what if this fails and you get a great opportunity from the West to go for masters? What would you do? Then I realized that entrepreneurship more than Excel sheet is about temperament, is about mindset. That do you really love what you're doing? Do you really want to spend rest of your life doing the exact same thing that you're doing today? And if the answer is no, you should quit it. If you're doing it for a certain tangible output in the next 5 years, that can be money, that can be fame, that can be anything. If the output matters you more than the process, probably this is not for you. If process drives you more than the output, this is definitely for you.
In this episode, we have seen so much about engineering, accreditations, MNC culture, and startups. And we have also heard the tips about how to start and manage the startup. We have seen that how a final year project could turn into full-fledged startup. Thank you so much for watching this, and you can leave your suggestions for the upcoming episodes. Thank you so much.